Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing out, reviewing, and wearing the new Cover FX Power Play Foundation. Now this foundation comes in 40 different shades. It retails for $44 US and you get 1.18 fluid ounces worth of product. So you get a little bit extra of what you typically would with liquid foundations. Usually they come like 1 ounce flat. This one has a little bit more than that. I grabbed the shade N40 to try out today. Originally, I had purchased N35, and that was just too light on my complexion. So when I went into my Sephora in order to exchange it, I had the opportunity to swatch, additional shades right on my skin. And N40, to be quite honest, you're gonna see that it is a little bit lighter than what I am. But the next one up would have been N50. They didn't have an in-between, unfortunately, because I feel like an N45 would have been perfect for me, but they either had an N40 or an N50. I decided to go with the one that was a little bit lighter on me, just simply because I knew that if I needed to deepen it a little bit, I could always use bronzer in order to deepen or to make it appear like the foundation does match me a little bit more. But we'll see what it actually looks like. I didn't apply it all over the face. I just swatched it and I applied it down here, like down my cheek and down my jawline into my neck. And, we'll work with it. We'll see how it wears. This foundation has a matte finish. It is meant for combination to oily skin types. So if you're more on the dry side, then this foundation may not be for you. It provides you with weightless, medium to full coverage. It's also meant to provide you with sweat-proof, all-day wear, powerful shine control, and environmental protection. It is also loaded with a trio of ultra-fine powders that are meant to control shine and visibly blur imperfections. It stays on the skin all day without dulling or drying out your complexion. The website also states that they'll provide you with a shade match guarantee, meaning that if you purchase a shade and you find it to not be suitable for your complexion, you can always return it free of charge, exchange it free of charge, and they'll take care of it for you. Also, if you decide to purchase this through Sephora, like I did, they have a really good returns and exchange policy. So as far as how to apply the foundation, it does state that you can apply it with a brush, a sponge, or even your fingertips. So before we get started, I'm going to jump off camera really quickly in order to color correct the under eye area, since I always do that before applying foundation, and then I will come back in order to apply some of this foundation onto the face. Okay, so now I am back with color corrector on, and it's time for foundation. But before I apply the foundation onto the face, I'm going to zoom you all in so that you can get a better look up close, and that way you can see exactly how much coverage I end up getting out of this foundation. Okay, so this is what my skin looks like up close. As you can see, just like I always mention, overall unevenness, and I also have like the little red veins that run through here. And I pretty much have the exact same situation going on this side. Along the forehead, I really don't have any problematic areas that I would like to cover. It's just mainly trying to keep that matte. Okay, so it's time for foundation. So this is what it looks like. I actually really like this type of a packaging because then you get every single drop, and you don't have to worry about the pump not getting anything or, you constantly having to pour too much. It's like more of a controlled tip in order to get exactly the amount that you want on the back of your hand. So like I said, it is a little bit on the lighter side, but I'm going to try to make it work. You know what? And just the one layer, it's giving me really nice coverage. Now my forehead is where the foundation is going to look the brightest. My forehead's always deeper than everything else on my face. Alright, so right off the bat, I really like the coverage that I am getting with this, just with like the one layer. So it's not full coverage. You can still somewhat see my skin through this thin layer of foundation, but it's doing a really good job right now at just evening everything out. So now I'm going to zoom y'all in so you can get a better look at my skin up close after the first layer of foundation. Alright, so you see what I'm talking about? Everything looks a lot more even, just overall. Nothing is completely hidden, but everything just looks a lot nicer. And then same goes for this side. All right, so even though on a regular day I would just leave it like this and finish off the rest of my makeup, I am going to see how well it builds up and how it feels built up. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more onto the cheeks, since I feel like, you know, I can use a little bit more coverage here. Okay, so now that I have two nice thin layers on the skin, I'm going to zoom you all in once again so that you can see what kind of coverage I'm getting now. Okay, so as you can see, it looks pretty natural, really good. It does feel really lightweight on the skin, and the same goes for this side. All right, so now that we're done with foundation, I'm going to simply jump off camera, finish off the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back. Okay, so now I am back with a full face of makeup, and so far I really am loving this foundation. It did set quite quickly after applying it, and it does set matte, so you don't have to apply. I mean, you could if you wanted to, you can set it with a powder, but you don't necessarily have to apply anything on top of it. It does have like this powdery finish, so you don't feel like dry or like you're missing moisture from the face. It just sets really nicely, and so far I really like it. It is currently 10:49, so I will be back halfway through the day in order to give you all more close-ups and to talk to you a little bit about how the foundation is wearing at that time. So I will see you all back here in a few hours. Okay, so now I am back for my midday check-in. It is currently 1:53, so I realize this isn't midday, this isn't like halfway through me wearing it yet, but I do have a birthday party to attend and I'm not going to be back for quite some time, and so it's either now or no midday check-in. So now I'm going to zoom you all in so that you can get a better look at the foundation on my skin after around 3.5 hours of wear. Alright, so this is what the right side looks like. Everything still looks really good, and everything's still in place. I have pretty much the exact same situation going on the left side, where nothing has moved around. Everything still looks good, feels comfortable. And as of right now, I still don't see any kind of oiliness peeking through my forehead. So as you can see, the foundation still looks really, really good up close. It's providing excellent coverage and it's staying matte. So far so good. I do plan on finishing off my day at around 7:30, maybe even 8 o'clock. It'll give me a nice long day so that way we can see exactly how matte this foundation truly does stay on the face. I am, like I mentioned, going to be going out to a party. It's a kid's birthday party and it's like 90+ degrees outside. So there's going to be quite a bit of sweating going on throughout the day, and we'll see how the foundation holds up through that. So I will see you all back here at the end of the night for my final thoughts on this new Cover FX foundation. Alright, so now I'm back with my final check-in. It is currently 7:50. I'm ready to wash all of my makeup off. I'm done for the day. I've had this foundation on for what, 9 hours or so by now? Now, before I get into my overall thoughts on the foundation, I'm going to zoom you all in so that you can get an up-close look at what the foundation looks like on my skin after about 9 hours of wear. Okay, so this is the right side, as you can see. Looks pretty much the same as it did earlier. Same thing with the left side. I don't see the foundation wearing off anywhere. Sometimes foundations will settle into my laugh lines. This one though has not. As for my forehead, I don't see any oiliness peeking through. This has definitely kept me matte. Even though the car was like an oven on our way to the party and then back from the party because it was sitting outside in like 90-some degree weather for quite some time. We were really hot when we first got in the car, and so obviously that made me sweat quite a bit, and I don't see any oiliness. Usually I would be pretty oily by now, especially with the humidity and the heat going on outside, but this has kept me looking pretty matte. So overall, I actually really like this foundation. It wears super lightweight. It gives you really, really nice coverage. It keeps you nice and normal looking when you typically would look like an oily mess. For me, that would be right here along the T-zone. I'm normal everywhere else and it doesn't feel dry on the skin. I've had foundations in the past where, you know, they are matte. They're a more matte formula. And when I apply them, they just kind of feel matte. This one it feels comfortable. Like with the finish that it gives you, it's more like a powdery finish rather than just like a dry finish. So that I really, really appreciate. I love the fact that it can be either medium or full coverage, depending on what you want, depending on your preference. You can definitely get either or, and it wears comfortably. That's my number one thing. It wears comfortably. It doesn't make you oily. It gives you really nice coverage, and overall it's a long wearing foundation for me, or at least it was. Even though I had kids going crazy everywhere and it was quite hot today, it survived. The foundation survived, and it still looks pretty darn good. So definitely an A+. That is all that I have for you today. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video review and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future product reviews, makeup tutorials, and everything and anything beauty related. And also don't forget to follow me on all of my other social media platforms. I am All Beauty by Sarah with an H on Instagram, and All Beauty by Sarah without the H on Snapchat and Twitter. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.